Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, and in this episode, we're taking a look at a new piece from Gentle Giant. And this piece right here is one that is filled with woe and glory and honor and all the other crazy stuff that Dr. Doom would say. Because today we're taking a look at Dr. Doom. I mean, spoilers, I already kind of said it. But this is far from your typical green Dr. Doom piece. No, this version of Dr. Doom is white. And you might be wondering, why is he suddenly Gandalf the White here? Well, the reason for that is because this statue is based off of the 2015 Secret Wars series. And in those comics, Doom spent most of that basically collecting all the power of the Beyonder and other stuff and basically turned himself into this all-powerful version of Doom, which was really cool. I highly recommend that you read that, and if you want to check it out for yourself, there's going to be links below this video in the description. But to kind of summarize, this white version of Dr. Doom is way more powerful. You can already see that here based on this nice Kamehameha he's got going up in his hands right now. We're going to get to that in a second. First things first, I just want to show you guys the packaging here, even though these are the kind of statues that are not meant to be left in box. They're very long, and this is, again, a resin mini bust. So not quite half scale, not a big boy at all, but still pretty nice weight and feeling pretty good in my hands. The packaging, unlike Diamond Select products, for example, does not have any windows. This is a resin piece, so it's filled with a lot of protective styrofoam. There's no way into this box except for opening it up here. But what you do get on the packaging here is just glimpses of how this piece is going to look from every single angle. The back of the packaging has a bio about Dr. Doom, but unfortunately it is a little generic. Now it does actually mention that this is from the Secret Wars, like right in this section down here, but the bio itself is just purely Dr. Doom's origin story and doesn't help contextualize what this piece is all about. So that's an unfortunate misstep there. At least it does tell you though that it's from Secret Wars and it's not making it a total mystery for you. And it does lead me to, again, plug myself one more time here, because if you want more information on the Secret Wars appearance, well, go ahead and check out my links below. But most importantly here, this piece, which is limited to only 1,000 pieces, was designed by Nelson Asensio and sculpted by Juan Pitluck. And we've looked at both these gentlemen's work across the years here, looking at a lot of Diamond pieces, a lot of Gentle Giant pieces, and they do great work here. And yeah, I mean, there's a reason I wanted to get this piece here, not just because it's Dr. Doom, not just because it's really cool, but this pair of artists does really great stuff here. So I'm pretty hyped for this thing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take our Secret Wars Dr. Doom out of the packaging and take a closer look at him from all angles. All right, and here is our Secret Wars Dr. Doom out of the packaging. And let's just do a quick rotation as I give you guys my initial thoughts on him. And this is a pretty cool piece. You know, it's a little bit different than what I was expecting. I feel like a lot of times we've seen Dr. Doom in statue form. It's very much kind of the same look of Dr. Doom. And I feel like this particular piece goes in a different direction. And it's not just the color. I think the look of the armor itself that Victor Von Doom is wearing is a little bit different. It's a little bit more unique compared to what we've seen in the past with other Dr. Doom pieces. Likewise, it is really cool seeing him have blue flames popping out of him, but yeah, I think this is going to be a special treat, and it is going to be something a little extra for the good old Doc, or maybe good old, maybe bad old Doc, is that the right way to say this? Whatever it is. But yeah, there's a lot of really interesting things to talk about here with this piece, so I think we should just go ahead and dive right on in. And I think the place that I want to start is with, well, first things and foremost, I probably should actually not go too deep before I mention that this is the certificate of authenticity that comes with your statue. So all of the statues do come with the certificate of authenticity, and likewise I should add that the base also includes that same information. But okay, with that little disclaimer out of the way, let's talk about the likeness, because I think that is what's really interesting in this statue here, is that Dr. Doom likeness. And to me, it feels a little bit different than I think what I've typically recognized from Dr. Doom statues in the past. And what makes that likeness so different to me is, well, really the way the mask is sculpted here. So this look is a little bit more mechanical and a lot more menacing, I think. Like, you know, the Dr. Doom mask has always been pretty fearsome looking in a lot of ways, as goofy as it could also be. It's also pretty cool. I mean, it's the man in the iron mask. He's trapped under there. Who knows what he looks like? There's a lot of interpretations of how he looks underneath it, but yeah, I think this one in particular, it feels very tortured, but also very evil, a lot more evil. Something about it, just the way that all the lines are working here, and just the darkness around it too. It looks very, very different. Now, I'm going to see if I can get you guys to see this as well. I had to tilt him a little bit, but hopefully you can see. What's also kind of interesting is that we do get to see a little bit of Dr. Doom skin peeking out there. And in this case, they're going with the interpretation that Doom is, in fact, very much disfigured. Now, in certain comics, we've seen that, no, he's actually not. It's just like one little baby scar. In other comics, he's completely deformed. But with this version, they have made him clearly very, very burnt up looking. So that's an interesting choice too. I think that's also kind of makes him a little bit more menacing. It almost kind of reminds me of like a Freddy Krueger or I was going to say Jason Voorhees just because of the mask, but really there's almost kind of like a Freddy Krueger-ness about him in this case. And maybe part of that too is just the way the hand is posed. But we'll come back to the body pose in a little bit. But you can also kind of see some of the chainmail or some of the armor poking out on his neck as well. So yeah, this is very much a Doctor Doom that's ready for some action, and he's kind of tired of the BS. Like, this is a Doctor Doom that's talked enough, and now he's ready to put the hurting down on somebody. Most likely Reed Richards, because that's what he does best. So aside from that, let's talk a little bit more about the fabric and some of the pose now. And the fabric is really cool, by the way. It is very textured. I'm not sure how well it's going to be picked up on camera. You can probably see a lot of it here, closer in the this part over here. There's some weathering, but it has a really nice texture across the entire piece here, and you can see that in really all the parts that are meant to be fabric, and it's a pretty coarse fabric. This is a very rough material, which is also kind of different. We've seen a lot of pieces from Diamond and Gentle Giant, but I don't think I've recalled too many that have this kind of feeling, and I say feeling because you got to touch it. It's very rough to the touch. It's very coarse. It's almost a little bit unpleasant, but in being so, it also lends itself to the way it captures light a little bit differently too. And you can see it does have some weathering, so we have some nice gray tones here and there to help darken it a little bit more, because otherwise it is fairly bright, and it is a white color. So after all, white is very reflective, obviously. But the way this white's working here, it's still a pretty grimy, kind of dark version of a white. As weird as it is to say, it's not like dirty, but when I say grimy, it's like it feels like, this is not a wholesome character wearing white. This is not Wedding Day Doctor Doom. This is all-powerful God entity Doom, and there's still a darkness coming through that white light. So that part's cool. And likewise, too, with the armor. There's some nice weathering in there, too, which you can see. It is, it's really wonderful metallic, but it's a very dirty metallic. And again, we're talking about evil Doctor Doom here. It doesn't get much more evil than having some dirty sheet metal strapped across your body. But yeah, you're seeing some of that right here with the hands especially. And, on top of the hand, it totally looks like it's Freddy Krueger showing off his scissor hand there. Mind you, this is not Edward Scissorhands, this is Freddy Krueger, but hopefully you guys get what I mean here. But there's definitely something ominous about this hand pose here. Likewise, too, with that fire that's coming out of it. This is a scary, powerful Doom. This is like an unhinged version of Doctor Doom, which is pretty unique unto itself as well. Now, as far as the rest of the outfit goes, too, I've already talked about how kind of grimy it is, but another cool aspect is you can actually see Doom's armor kind of poking through this fabric here, and that's kind of showing how it's kind of just clinging to his body in this power pose. And likewise, so you can see here with his, I don't really know quite what to call it, I guess we'll call it his tunic. You can see how the tunic is kind of flowing in this direction, and likewise the cape is doing something similar. This is not a Doom that is standing still, this is a Doom in motion. He's doing some magic stuff that is very powerful, and that's why we have the cape flowing as well. So it's this really kind of like a pretty, almost blooming flower look, I want to call it, but it's very much a windswept Doctor Doom, and there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here with the way the costume is, so I like what they did there. Now, we should also talk a little bit about the base. So let's get all nice and friendly with that base right now. So this is also a fairly kind of grimy looking base. When you're used to seeing Doctor Doom, this is Latveria, right? So when you think Doom, you don't necessarily think future tech. You're kind of thinking like almost steampunk technology. Because, we don't know how technologically advanced his entire country is. We know Doom has all the technological advancements in his hands, but his people not so much. So this base is kind of indicative of that. And, it's very much like, almost like a steam room, or a boiler room, rather, I should say. It's like a boiler room. You have these really big, chunky pipes going across, so these big lead-looking pipes that go across the space into this really dark, grimy area here. It looks old. This looks like a very old piece of machinery. It's very weathered. It's seen a lot of stuff. And that's basically what Doom has at his hands. So, you can interpret it however you want it, but it's a really interesting juxtaposition of the elements of Doom and who Doom is, and I'm all about that. I think it's a really cool, very interesting looking base, very fascinating. He's got a really cool belt too, by the way. I've barely talked about that belt, but it's actually a very nice belt. But yeah, as far as this Doom piece goes, this is a really, really cool looking piece. There's a lot of great elements to it, from the face to the armor, even to this little cape section over here has holding the cape up. This is a very interesting Doctor Doom piece, and it's one that I recommend you don't take lightly, just like Doctor Doom himself. So, yes, if you want to get this Doctor Doom for yourself, and I think I can recommend this one. I don't really have too many problems here, because again, how often are you going to get a Doctor Doom that isn't green? So if you do want a Doctor Doom that's a little bit white, a little bit more different, this is the way to go. And if you'd like to get this Doctor Doom for your collection, I would recommend you guys check out Amazon.com, which, by the way, how convenient, I happen to have links down below in the description of this video for Amazon for this particular piece. And if you buy this piece using that affiliate link, it helps out this YouTube channel at no extra cost to you. So yeah, make Doctor Doom a very, very happy camper, buy his statue, and remember a very unique timeline for Doctor Doom here in the Secret Wars when he became pretty much the most powerful entity in all of Marvel, at least for a little brief amount of time, but what a period of time it was. For the Marvel Universe, it was a very scary time, but for Doom, he would say it was just a Tuesday. So that's our look at the Secret Wars Doctor Doom resin mini bust from Gentle Giant. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about the statue in the comments below. So until next time, I'm Matthew. This is Nerd News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.